It was the maiden edition of Angel Fair West Africa, a unique event organized by the Lagos Angel Network (LAN) and Angel Africa List (AAL). Local and international angel investors and venture capitalists were in Lagos, Nigeria, to identify promising startup businesses and provide the needed seed and early stage funding and mentoring that such businesses require to succeed. Angel Fair West Africa commenced on the 29th of March 2014, spanned over 3 days, and ended on the 31st, during which investors and entrepreneurs were presented with opportunities to network and do deals. On day 1 of the program, the rehearsal was held at Blowfish Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos, with over 20 registered businesses present. The program kicked off with a welcome speech by the Fair's co-founder, Mr. Eric Osiekwan of Angel Africa List.
So today our focus is to try and get you ready. We're going to see what the pitches are, and we're going to help you fine-tune it and get it to the level where somebody in the audience will say, what you said is interesting and I want to talk to you, I want to invest in you.
Thereafter, the entrepreneurs practiced pitching their business ideas for 5 minutes each. During this session, errors were highlighted by the audience and corrections were duly made. At the end of the day's activities, the other co-founder of the fair, Mr. Tommy Davis of the Lagos Angel Network, coached the entrepreneurs on how to best present their business to potential investors.
That's why we want you to focus on telling a story that is independent of any aid. Remembering this is the first time they're meeting you. The whole idea is this person somebody I can trust, with money.
The businesses that were to pitch the following day include Formaline, GCP Solar, Haibu, Equinox Intercom Limited, DJus.TV. There was also Gauna, Autobox, ePump, Ideacentric, Smart Exposure, then Prep Class, Kobe Limited, Cyber School Technology Solutions, Ventura Media Group, Talent Base Nigeria Limited, and last but not the least, Morpheus, Save and Buy, ProWork, Takamoto Biogas, and Hot Bay. Day 2 was dedicated to startup entrepreneurs looking for seed capital for their businesses. The event was held at the prestigious Intercontinental Hotel with over 70 local and international business angels present. The chairman of the Lagos Angel Network, Mr. Adedotun Sulaiman, gave the opening speech.
The people who are going to be listening to today are people who have business ideas and need angel funding. And by angel funding, we cap it at $50,000. No more than $50,000. If you need more than $50,000, you're no longer an angel and no longer in the realms of angel investment. Now there's another show tomorrow, which is for businesses, still startup businesses that are post-revenue. They've taken the businesses off the ground, they have customers, they started making money, now they need money to scale up.
Thereafter, 2 panel sessions held and panelists shared their individual perspectives on challenges facing startups and investor expectations. The morning panel members were Tommy Davis from Nigeria, Ehosa Omogui from USA, Fatui Mata Saukona from Liberia, and Sangodel from Ghana, while those at the afternoon session were Tayo Ogundikbe, Shegun Olukoya, Alex Bram, and Femi Akinde, all from Nigeria. Between the panels, entrepreneurs had an opportunity to pitch their businesses to the investors who came for the fair. Among the entrepreneurs were Cecil Nutako E-Campus from Ghana, Charles Phillips Autobox from Nigeria, Econem Emo Smart Exposure Nigeria, Silas Akwoche Ideacentric Nigeria, Patrick Ngentio DJus.TV Cameroon, Pilby Gauna Benin, Alosius Ata Formaline Ghana, Olumide Ogunlana Prep Class, Nigeria. Ayodeji Ogundiro, E-Pump, Nigeria. At the end of the day's session, entrepreneurs had one-on-one interactions with different investors interested in their businesses.
Well, the little feedback I got during the break, some of the investors have been telling me some of the companies that they look to talk to that they find very interesting. Everybody is quite excited, which is good. Again, the least we can achieve from this event is to create excitement and to get people to connect.
And the fact of the matter is that there's quite a significant number of them that are particularly interesting and we think are probably investable to a certain degree. Now, of course, this is all subject to taking the time to do the appropriate diligence and evaluation. But on the face of it, there's some really interesting entrepreneurs and very interesting startups.
From my side, I'm highly impressed. The level of quality of the entrepreneurs has been extraordinary. The amount of energy and passion has been amazing. And I think for a first-year event, the Angel Fair Lagos has a lot of potential and will have huge growth.
I like the approach that the Angel Fair 2014 has taken. No presentation slides, let the investors do the selling, make their pitch, and I think it enhanced the way that the pitches have been delivered, and you get to see more content or hear more content.
I'm actually quite impressed by what has been put together, the platform, the program, the opportunities that it presents for some of us who are potential investors. I think I'm even more interested in the platform, the process, than anything else, because I believe that once you have the right process for putting together those opportunities, it becomes a lot easier to identify the right opportunities to invest in, and to also ensure that after the investment, you're likely to create the value that you originally had at the point of investment.
The last day of the program was focused on established businesses that had passed the seed funding stage and were now looking to raise follow-on capital to expand. The keynote speaker for the day was the Honorable Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, Mr. Olusegun Aganga.
The first thing is to congratulate everyone in this room, the angel investors, but more importantly, the entrepreneurs in this room. This is one sector that we're very, very passionate about, because this is where jobs will be created. This is where wealth will be created. In every economy, anywhere in the world, it is the MSMEs that drive the economy. So it's a sector on its own. The opportunities in this country are huge. There's so much money to be made.
Who spoke extensively about the need to support the emergence of a vibrant startup funding industry in Nigeria. Panel discussions also held, and members of the investor panel included Mr. Adedotun Sulaiman from Nigeria, Mr. Maurizio Cairo from South Africa, Mr. Falabi Eson, also from Nigeria, and Vibe Bua of the Tony Elumelu Foundation. The afternoon entrepreneur panel comprised of Mr. Eric Osakwan from Ghana, Mr. Tunde Kaide from Nigeria, Mr. Kofi Danzie, also from Ghana, and Mr. Tayo Oviosu from Nigeria.
So I've been very impressed, especially with the panelists, and also the experiences, etc., because a lot of these things we're all facing, so at least this gives a forum, one, to just let you know you're not the only one out there, that two, it can be done, three, that also, that it is possible that we all have had shared experiences. This whole idea of bootstrapping, starting with family first, then moving to this, etc., that's practically how we all started.
What this forum does, though, is to provide a very efficient way for people to actually get a lot of good ideas, but also just establish what is typically a long process. So it's not like you show up in an event, you hear a pitch, and you write a check. But at least that initial process of bringing the ideas and the financiers together is an extremely critical first step. So I think that's actually the biggest value of this.
One of the engine of growth is to make sure that we have more companies and more profitable companies on the ground. And I think the different governments in Africa are doing so many different things to create the conditions for that. But it's also we as capital and entrepreneurs that need to do something about it. So I think this is a place where we can facilitate private capital and entrepreneurs to work together and leverage the fact that the conditions around this are getting better and better in Africa.
During the day session, several early-stage entrepreneurs had the opportunity to pitch their businesses to venture capital investors. Amongst them were Sydney Yankson, GCP Solar, Ghana; Ugo Obi, Save and Buy, Nigeria; Francis Owumere, ProWork, Nigeria; Emeka Modi, Morpheus, Nigeria; Ozioma Obiaka, Talent Base Nigeria Limited, Nigeria; Pledge 51, LASPAS, and Hot Bay.
It's a very good initiative in West Africa because it's so rare to find this kind of event, and we are very pleased to participate.
Angel Fair, I think, is the greatest thing that can ever happen to an entrepreneur in this part of the world. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful we made it here.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's a good opportunity for businesses like us to meet with the investor community, to get a better understanding of what kind of opportunities they're looking at for investment, and obviously for ourselves to get in front of them as well and to tell them a bit more about what we're doing.
I'm full of admiration for the people that have actually organized it. I think it's a fantastic initiative. We all know that small businesses are the engine of growth for the economy, and this is it being practicalized, if I can use that word. So I'm leaving here full of inspiration.
Getting feedback from some of the investors shows that they really understand what is going on. One, I think they were also quite pleased at the quality of the pitches that were made today. For some of them who saw them yesterday and today, they saw the difference in the pitch. I think one interesting aspect of it was that there were no PowerPoint slides. So you got entrepreneurs speaking from the heart, telling a story about their businesses, and that is really what an investor is looking for. He needs to be convinced that this is a good story, and this person standing in front of me is credible and can make it happen. So I think they were all quite pleased, and I'm sure coming out of this we'll have one or two investments in some of the businesses that we've seen so far.
I think the feedback was taken on pretty well. It's always constructive criticism. We are not there to try and bring you down or to try and pick holes in what you believe in. We're only there to try and make things sound more interesting and exciting to investors, because that's the type of perspective that we have. So yeah, I think there's definitely an improvement.
Today wasn't about convincing them to invest. Today was about interesting them in the idea and the people. And you see, people don't invest in ideas, they invest in people. So the whole idea was, for the want of a better word, a beauty parade, is to showcase the fact that, hey, I have an idea that I can execute on that can potentially make money. So it's up to the investors to decide, is this the kind of idea I want to invest in? Is this the kind of person I want to invest in? That's what this is all about. The details of the mechanics, you would even find some of those ideas are going to go through iterations before they make it to market.
It's always inspiring to see pitches. It's always good to get questions from investors also. And what you see happening now is that there are, in many cities across Africa, angel networks are coming up. That's a very good development, I think. And what we try to do with the VC for Africa platform is to connect local angel networks with global networks of angels for investments in Africa's next success stories.
6.6, 6.7.
Personally, I would give it a 9.
7.5?
I'll give it 7.
I would have to say 7 or 8. Definitely room for improvement, but it's a very good start.
I'd give it a 7, 7.5.
An 8 or a 9. I think there is some room for improvement.
Yeah, I'll say 8. Okay. Plus the food, 9.
This is Royal Television. We inspire.